Bumbaco. I'm an oncology dietitian, and I'm here for the month of August to celebrate yet again another food holiday. And as I promised, this one is yet again another one of my favorites because it's all about one fantastic summer fruit. Can you guess what that is? I don't know. There's a big one sitting right here. That's watermelon. So did you know that August 3rd is National Watermelon Day? So what I thought I would share with you all today are different ways to incorporate watermelon and finding other ways to add other ingredients besides just the simple, delicious watermelon so that you can add some valuable nutrients to your cancer protective diet. So you are watching this on our YouTube channel, on the Judy Nicholson Kidney Cancer Foundation YouTube channel. If you look back at other videos, you will find for this entire year, we have celebrated a lot of food. So every single month, we have celebrated a different food holiday. So if you missed those, please just look at the YouTube channel. You can also check out the website and you will find a lot of great content about nutrition, but especially about the recipes if you are interested to try any of the things that I demonstrate and describe to you all in our food celebrations. So now, why watermelon? Why am I so excited about watermelon? Well, we certainly know it's a nutritional powerhouse. It is packed with water. 92% of watermelon is water. So no wonder why we find it so refreshing this time of year. Now there's over 1,200 varieties of watermelon. Did you know that? I learned that. I had no idea. And it's harvested about May through September, and 40 states harvest watermelon. 40 out of our 50 states. So chances are you have access to watermelon wherever you might be. Now, some people ask me, how do you decide when you buy an entire watermelon, how do you decide which one is ripe and ready to be consumed? A couple tips that the experts give us so that we know we're picking the ripest watermelon possible. So you want to find one. I'm going to roll it over here. The watermelon is about the size of my belly. So this watermelon, if you notice, it's shiny. If we don't want any bruises on here, right? We want it to be heavy for its size, and this one is quite heavy. Another telltale sign that this is ripe, we want to look for a special spot right on the bottom of the watermelon. Can you see it there? That's the yellow spot where chances are this had a chance to sit in the sun and soak up all the good things in its environment so that it can become its ripest, sweetest watermelon possible. So that's a key sign to look for as well. If you're not sure and you're at a farm market, just ask the farmer. They're going to give you great tips. That's what I love about farm markets too. You get to interact with the people that grow your food. How great is that? All right, so I'm going to set my watermelon aside. We're going to come back to that. And I want to talk more about the nutritional powerhouse that is watermelon. So what we find in watermelon is that it has some vitamins and minerals. There's some vitamin K, there's some potassium, there's some magnesium, there's also some B vitamins, including thiamine, as well as vitamin B6. Those B vitamins, they kind of unlock the energy from food. So they're a great addition to our well-rounded, balanced cancer protective diet. Watermelon also has a couple key ingredients that I like to point out. One of them gives it its red color, and maybe you've heard of it. It's called lycopene, and lycopene is a phytochemical. So lycopene has been shown in the research to help lower our blood pressure. Did you know that? So if you have high blood pressure, or if you have a condition called prehypertension, eating lycopene, and watermelon happens to supply a good source of it, this can help lower blood pressure. Watermelon also has another key ingredient. It's called L-Citrulline. and it's actually an amino acid. And this special amino acid has been found to help reduce muscle soreness. So that's why a lot of athletes like to eat watermelon. It's high in water and it helps to reduce muscle soreness. So it's a great choice if you're active or you're especially looking to become more active in your survivorship care. Lastly, the other thing about citrulline is that it helps to maintain healthy blood flow. And a lot of times people ask me, what can they do to help their kidneys function the best way possible? And I would say, of course, there's a lot of things to consider, but certainly maximizing blood flow would be an important part of your health. And so L-Citrulline might be a component to consider, and we find that in our delicious watermelon. So now how about some ways to enjoy watermelon? Well, I have a handful of them. And again, if you want to follow along on the website, you'll see I'll include each of the recipes for each of these. Okay, so I thought let me at least give you 5 ways, at least 5. There's tons more. And there's tons more that if you ever ask me, I would be happy to discuss more with you. But at least 5 ways to enjoy watermelon. Now, I think it's delicious as is, right? And most of us probably eat watermelon that way. Just straight, simple watermelon. So I have some slices of watermelon here, but I love to add a little flavor to this just to make it interesting. So what I have here is a chili lime spice, and this is called tahine. I have some here too. Tahine, and it's chili and lime. And it's going to add a very interesting flavor to our watermelon. Now this tahine with the blue cap is low sodium. So if you're watching your salt intake, guess what? There's options. And this is going to pack a lot of flavor in a small amount. So I'd love to just slice up some watermelon into these great little sticks and then add a little shake of my tahine right on top. It's a great appetizer. It's a great way to kind of doll up watermelon if you're looking for a new and interesting way to try it. Some people will just use a fancy flaky sea salt also, because what that's going to do is add an interesting contrast, right? And actually make the watermelon taste even sweeter if that's possible. But give that a try. You might really enjoy that. Okay, that's one idea. Next up, a lot of people ask me about smoothies. So why not make a smoothie with our watermelon, right? So what I have here is my bullet, and this is one of my favorite kitchen gadgets because it's pretty versatile. If you have a blender at home, that will work perfectly well as well. And what I'm going to use is our watermelon, of course. So I sliced up some watermelon, and I'm going to add to that the milk of my choice. So you can use cow's milk or you can use a plant alternative. We're going to add that to our little vessel here. And then I'm going to add one of my other favorite ingredients. I always have a tub of plain Greek yogurt. It's always in my fridge because this is versatile. I'm going to use it 2 ways today. I know, that's impressive. So we're going to add a little bit of this plain Greek yogurt. If you want to use a flavored Greek yogurt, you totally can. You could use vanilla. You could use a plant-based alternative to Greek yogurt if you want. And you get to decide if you want to make this sweet, right? So you could add a little bit of honey. You could add a little bit of maple syrup, or you can leave it out. Because I like to leave it out because I find that the watermelon is sweet enough. And I'm going to add a lot of other flavors to this. So I don't really need the sweet because I'm going to find other ways to make it tasty. All right, and then also to this, guess what we're going to add? Some chia seeds. So I'm going to add just a little bit of this because this is really going to thicken up our smoothie. It's going to be yummy. So chia seeds are high in omega-3 fats and fiber. And a lot of people ask me ways to add more fiber or add more omega-3 fats that are going to be anti-inflammatory. This is one great way. And adding them to a smoothie is super simple. So think about that anytime you make a smoothie as well. Now, what I like to do is add some fresh squeezed orange juice. So I'm going to just squeeze that right into the mix. Delicious. And why not add also a little bit of fresh lime. So this is going to be like kind of a tropical smoothie. And then we're going to just blend this together. And this is going to make, the recipe is going to make 2 servings. You want to consume this right away because the watermelon and the yogurt are going to separate eventually, right? So you want to consume it right away, but you also could make popsicles from this. So whatever left over, you can put into popsicle molds. Kind of a fun idea. Sometimes I like to put them into ice cube trays, right? So then you can pre-prep, right? So if you wanted to make a smoothie during the week, all you do is pop out some ice cubes out of your ice cube tray and then blend that together. Voila, you have a smoothie. All right, so here we're gonna mix this together now. And depending on the texture you want, you could add a little bit more. You might see this is kind of thin. You could add some more Greek yogurt. The chia seeds are going to thicken this, right? So you could also add a little bit more of those chia seeds. I don't mind it on the thin side, so I'm going to pour it out to show you. And I have my glass here that's already prepared with a little bit of lime on the side. And it's really a pretty, really pretty way to enjoy your watermelon. But it's also, think how nutrient packed this is, right? I have probiotics in here. I have protein. I'm adding some more calcium. The chia seeds are giving us some great fiber. It's a really nice way to enjoy a refreshing mocktail this time of year. So we're going to set that aside. So we have our chili lime sliced watermelon and our smoothie so far. Not too bad, right? Next, I want to show you one of my other favorites. This is super fun, especially to do with the kiddos. They're going to love this. So we call this watermelon pizza, but it's not really pizza, right? It's like a dessert pizza. So I already have my watermelon wedge all prepared. And what I'm going to do is go back to this Greek yogurt. And we're going to use this Greek yogurt to spread on top of our pizza slice or our watermelon pizza slice. So I'm just going to take this yogurt. You could use vanilla. You could use coconut yogurt. Some people really like that flavor. And you can add as little or as much as you want. But this, again, is where it's super fun with kids because they can add and they can be creative however they decide they want to make this. So we spread our yogurt on top. Next, I want you to add more, right? We need toppings for our pizza. So what I have here are some fresh blueberries. Now you could add every single berry under the sun, right? Like you could add raspberries, you can slice up some strawberries. It will be delicious. You can really make this pretty and creative. I'm just gonna layer a couple more. What I also like to add to this, thank goodness the yogurt's there so it sticks, right? That's gonna be easier to eat. The other thing I like to add to this is unsweetened shredded coconut. So I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of that right on top. It's gonna stick right to that yogurt. And then I also like to add fresh mint. It's really pretty, right? And it adds some more color, some more flavor. So I'm just gonna take a few leaves off of my little bushel of mint here, which wasn't looking so good not too long ago, but guess how I brought it back to life? Really simple. I trimmed the stem off of the mint, and then I added it to my mason jar with some water. Voila! It's like watering your flowers. It brings them back to life. It's so simple. So there's our watermelon pizza. So fun. You have to try that one. I think it's one of my favorites. So we're going to slide that over. 1, 2, 3 so far for watermelon. This is really cool, right? I know. I think it's pretty special. So I have 2 more to show you. And we're going to take a step away from the sweet way to enjoy watermelon towards more savory applications. So what I really like is a simple salad, especially this time of year. Again, we're looking for more light and refreshing ways, right, to enjoy our food that is tasty and nutritious. So what I want to make is a green salad, super simple. And I love these bagged lettuces. This is baby arugula. It happens to be triple washed. It's done. It's ready. We actually don't want to wash this. They did it for us. So I'm just going to dump some in our bowl here. I might use my hands and pull out a little bit more. If you don't like arugula, you could use baby spinach. Now, arugula is a cruciferous vegetable, which we know has very potent cancer fighters. But if you don't like arugula, you find it to be a little peppery or bitter for you, again, you can use that baby spinach. It's also super nutritious. And then to this salad, I guess we have to add watermelon, right? So I have some cubed watermelon here, and I'm just going to put that right on top. And watermelon pairs very well with a type of cheese. And I'm not the biggest cheese fan, I'll confess, but little bites here and there of cheese really adds some satisfaction to something like a simple salad. And salads are super nutritious, great choice, but sometimes they can feel us leaving, a little hungry, a little unsatisfied at the end. So adding a high quality, tasty cheese like feta cheese, which is what I have here, is a great way, and I'm just going to crumble some on top. It's a great way to add a punch of flavor, really with a little bit of protein, and it's not going to really break the bank, right? So we don't want to be afraid of making a salad that's going to be super satisfying for us. Now, on the website, you'll see I have a full recipe. So there's a vinaigrette you can make with this, but I'm going to keep it simple today. And sometimes this is how I like to dress my salads, very simply, right? So I might put a little bit more pepper, fresh pepper on top of this, but to be honest, the arugula is already peppery. We have salt from the feta, right? So it really doesn't need much. So all I'm going to add is a squeeze of lemon. If you wanted to add a little drizzle of olive oil or a more neutral oil, that would be great too, right? So I'm going to just put some lemon right on top. And such a simple salad. Now, if you wanted to, you could also add some nuts for some texture. I love to use nuts in a salad instead of croutons because it gives that crunch, right? So I could see even just peanuts in here, so simple. And it's going to add some great crunch, more nutrition, and more satisfaction, right? So super simple salad here. So delicious, so pretty too. Now this one you want to watch. You can't pre-assemble this because the watermelon is going to make those greens soggy, right? So you have to enjoy this sort of right away. Or you can pre-prep this and add the watermelon when you're ready to serve, and then also add your vinaigrette when you're ready to serve. So there's our additional recipe. I got one more to show you. So much fun I'm having here, can you tell? It's so good. Sometimes what I'll do too is I'll make skewers of watermelon chunks with feta chunks and even cucumber. So little skewers, the great little appetizer, because the three of those together, really delicious and something just different for you to try. All right, now our last recipe. I hope you're sitting down for this one. I made this ahead of time because it requires a little bit of time to rest in the fridge. So I pulled that out for you here, and you're never going to believe what I did. So what I decided is that we're going to turn this watermelon into a mock tuna. So I made a tuna poke. Can you believe that? So I cubed up my watermelon, and then I marinated it. And the marinade consists of rice vinegar, sesame oil, tamari or soy sauce, some lime juice, and then some tahini and a little bit of maple syrup. I mixed all that together and I poured it over top of my cubed watermelon and I let it marinate actually overnight. Then I took the watermelon out, reserving the marinade, and I sauteed the watermelon cubes over medium heat, because what we want to do is kind of dry out the watermelon, right? So that it's sort of like tuna. And then I boiled the marinade so that it condensed. I did that for about 12 minutes, and it condensed so that I have a sauce to pour right on top. So what I want to show you, I'm going to take a little bit of our arugula as a bed, right? Now you could make an entire bowl, right? Like you can get some brown rice, you can slice up some cucumbers, you could add some roasted seaweed, edamame, and you could make a bowl, and then you could add your marinated watermelon pokey. So I'm just gonna pour that right in. It literally looks and tastes like tuna. You're gonna love it. So this is the rest of my marinade, and I'm gonna pour that as a sauce on top. And this looks great as is, but I think it, could use a little extra. So what a lot of times I'll do is add some black sesame seeds right on top of this. Really pretty for presentation. Or you could use everything but the bagel seasoning. Have you seen or tried this? It's great. So I'm gonna add a touch of that on top, just for some more pizzazz, a little more texture, and voila, we have a watermelon tuna pokey. It's really great. I want you to give that a try. Another light, refreshing way to enjoy watermelon, and maybe it's something new to try. Maybe you just like it kind of standard and you just like your watermelon as is. Either way, there's no wrong way to enjoy this nutritious powerhouse as part of your cancer protective diet. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again next month to celebrate our next food holiday.